What is going on, everybody? Hope you are doing well. I'm doing okay. We've a little under the weather yesterday, and still today. So you have to pardon the voice, and that's going to happen quite a bit. So sorry for that, guys, but we're still here, um, and we're still good enough to do what we need to out here in the deep desert. Audio check sounds okay. So we'll pull that out, put that over there. Yeah, we brought the Assault out today because we needed the extra storage. And I'll show you why we needed it once we head in. To our wonderful little base here. First off, I don't know how much water I've got, but I guarantee you it's not enough. Yeah. So we're going to immediately throw some bodies in because we've got big plans for today. I can't because I don't have the snuffs spaces. Okay, let's just drop these three off. Let's just drop these three off, and that should give us the space we need, and then we'll get going. Let's see here. We go here. Yep, there we go. So 50 minutes, we're going to get 40,000 water. So let's not get too nitpicky about things. It's going to be about 100,000 water in an hour or so. So with the traps running and these guys going, at least hopefully it should be all right. We brought the Assault because we did bring tons of water along. Let's take a look here. Boom. See that? We got so much water. It's crazy. Crazy amounts of water. And we also brought this stuff along. So I brought a bigger buggy boot. I laugh every time I say it. I want to install that on the buggy that's out here, so when I do stripidium, titanium, and aluminum runs, I can get a whole bunch more. We brought a Walker sand engine, Sandcrawler, and we also brought a regular Sandcrawler engine because ours has seen some things. She's running a little low. We also brought a new set of dampened treads and a brand new Regis spice container. Why does that matter? Well, the Regis spice container, let's go this way. Here's your standard one, right? These are the treads. When you look at the treads, you're not going to see too much different. Armor, grip, vibration level is 4, vibration level is 6. So it's less vibration. That's why they're dampened. It does make it so that you're generating less worm aggro, but not that much. I mean, 6 to 4 on a scale of I don't know. Your grip rating and your armor rating are the same. But for a standard centrifuge, which is the original one I had on here, max volume is 7,500. For the Regis, it's 11,250. That's huge. It's almost a 50% increase. Is it a 50% increase? 37. Yeah. So it holds 50% more. Math. But let's take a look at our Sandcrawler. It needs to render in a little crazy right now. Come on, buddy. You're on. Camera's rolling. There it is. Okay, good. So if we go here and take a look, as you can see, my current dampened treads are currently at 55%. I got some repairs I could do on them. They're going to be at around 60 or so. And the spice container is roughly the same thing as the treads. It's close. And my engine is a little worse. We had, this was the one that, this actually, we got eaten by a worm because we were careless. And we took the 15% hit to durability. And of course these treads, engine and the container, they all break down the more you use them. So we've got some issues. This PSU is at 67%. I'm not so concerned about that. It seems to degrade much less than the rest of this stuff. So it'll be okay. But I brought out brand new ones because what I want to do is switch those out Can I carry you too? Oh, look at you. Can I get the engine as well? Wonderful things here. My goal is to go out into the deep desert and fill this Regis container. And I don't want to do that with some broken equipment. Once things start getting around 50%, I get a little itchy about it. Now, if it was just regular stuff that, tier 6 things I can make, or just regular wings, wouldn't so much worry about it. I'd just make them and trash these. But 50%'s not broken. 50%'s not good to go into the PvP section at all. Nowhere near. Never do it. 75% or higher as far as I'm concerned. Like I said so many times before, if people want to jump you, you don't want to do half their work for them. So we want everything as strong as possible. But for short runs, these things are still great. And even technically a long run, you could do it. What you can do is you bring enough welding wire, you go get some spice, and when these things start turning a little red, you find a rock, land on it, jump out, hit it with the welding torch, and repair. You can keep doing that, and that's exactly what I am going to do. However, if I'm going to go out for a long run, I'd rather just switch them out and be in the best shape possible. So that is what we're going to do. We are going to come in here and we're going to detach. Maybe. There we go. So we're going to detach this dampened tread, and then we're going to come back here. This is tricky because you can attach all sorts of things here, but I want to make sure I don't just put it right back on. So here we are going to attach a brand new tread. And also, when you use the color swatches, you can tell because attaching them, they go back to default. So it's another way I know that things worked. Whoa, easy there. Now we're going to take this one off. And we're going to make sure we choose the right one. Must be attached. Yes, thank you. There we go. Jump up in the air here, and we're going to detach, button too many times, this spice container. And it's easier to get the engine right now. I'm hoping it'll let me do it. Backpack is full. Where did that go? Unless it's full now. Okay, so I brought a regular engine, and now I've also got this Walker one, which is faster. And we're going to give it a try and see what we think. Unfortunately, I believe this is going to mess with my methods because, we're moving along faster. We've got to see if it's going to actually be able to collect the spice like we're used to. But there's that. Where did my engine go that I couldn't hold? It should have hit the ground. Yeah, there it is underneath the tread. You can just barely see it. So we got to get in this bad boy here. I got to back her up a little bit. There we are. And now we got an engine laying on the ground, but I don't know. I should be able to pick it up, right? Yeah, okay, good. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to store these back in the box. Like I said, I'm not going to throw these out. We just don't want to use them for the long shifts out in the sand. Speaking of long shifts out in the sand, if you're going to go out there, you need to make sure you are well supplied. By well supplied, there's the big three. Water, that keeps you from dying because the sun tries to kill you. Welding wire, so that you can fix things that is broken in case you have to. Sometimes bad guys, sometimes storms, sometimes just wear and tear. And then the final thing are fuel cells. If I'm going on a short run just to go out and get a couple, I'll take this along. I usually make sure they're completely full before I leave, so full tanks on both the crawler and the carrier. And then I got 2 and then whatever the partial is. We're going to go on a long run right now. So honestly, this would be the minimum that I would take 5 cells plus a partial. We're going to actually make a few more, and I'm going to bring a few more with me. Oh, look, we made a few more. I'd forgotten that I'd made those. But it's a good thing I did. So 5's a requirement. I'm going to go ahead and bring the full thing. Now, the reason we're loading in so heavy is, number one, I've got the backpack space because I don't need to bring anything else. I could honestly get rid of everything except the welding wire and a torch that I'm carrying. I don't need the extra suits of armor, money, and stuff like that. So I don't need any of that kind of stuff, especially if we're staying in the PvP section. But I want to load in heavy with these because I've got the backpack space and I don't want to run into any problems, which can happen. I did this the other day and I wasn't able to completely fill that Regis canister because I ran out of fuel carrying my standard. I think I had 3 full ones plus a partial and they were full when we left. But we covered the entire map. We were all over the place. We were out there for days, game days. So, yeah, we're going to come in real heavy. This 500 is awesome, but I'm going to go ahead and just bring this little 142 along as well. Just because. And if we don't like that engine, we're going to come back and switch it out with a regular Sandcrawler engine. And be in great shape there. Oh, it scared me because it wasn't over there. So let's see. Oh, did not want to do that, but that's okay. Let's take a look at the info now. So our treads are at 99. Great. We broke them a little bit putting them on. Thanks, game. And the engine a little bit. But for some reason, the spice container is just fine. 100%. I guess because we haven't technically used it. We're using the rest of this now. But yeah, so the cabin, chassis, vacuum, and then this PSU is already a little bit orange, but it doesn't break as fast as the rest, so that actually will be okay. Fuel wise, again, we are full. Love doing that. So let's go ahead and spin around. Of course, we have to do a complete 180. Before we do that, we have focused on 2 things this week. We were still getting these, so we're at 122. I got 300 last week, and I was all excited. I'm already down under 200 from making the stuff I just put on. So, ooh, holy cow. I got a couple Emperor's wings. Got some rock carrier wings, which is pretty neat. Those are for the carrier, obviously, rock carrier. I can go faster, but they limit maneuverability. I'm not sure where I feel on that, because the thing ain't that maneuverable anyway. But, of course, speed would always be good. I got a Fades drinker, and I'm starting to put together a forge set of armor. So that's pretty cool. And then this is just the normal stuff you get from them. We did that last week. But I have focused mainly on this bad boy right here and getting the spice. Oh, look, I currently have some. 2 batches that I made. Sweet. Let's go to the buggy, and we'll switch all of them over. We are starting out with 1.5 stacks, so 1.5 stacks. Yes, duh. This is our box that we have been putting all our finished product in, and as you can see, we have done very well so far this week. That's going to finish that off with an extra 100, and then we've got these guys. Now, unfortunately, we have tons and tons of residue. We use them for filters and fuel cells, and I guess we're just not making enough of them because I have so many of these, and there's a ton here, and I've got tons back at the base, so I need to start using these more. But, yeah. But that's where we're at right now. We have 5,100 spice melange, which is awesome. I think this is the most we've ever had in 1 week. I think. But don't quote me on that, but we've never filled out 3 rows of melange. So there's where we stand. So let's get out here and do it. Normally, I would go out and scout with a scout or an assault copter to go see if I could find a pre-existing spice field. Oh man, come on, dude. Thank you. Pre-existing spice field, so I'm not out there wandering in something that uses so much fuel. But one of the problems I've had with doing that is I'll find one, I'll come back here, I'll grab all this stuff, get out there, go back out to it, and there's people on it. So it was mine until I gave it away. Wings are... Let's take a look at those wings before we get out here. Yeah, she needs some repairs before we leave. Just want to make sure we're in the best shape possible. You're not broken very much. Neither are you. And let's get these wings at least over 3/4 that we can handle. As far as PvP engagements, these things are your weak point. People will always shoot at your wings to make you slow down or crash. So having wings with some damage like this, it's brave, to say the least. Okay, last thing, number 5 on my hotbar is my water, and I got plenty of it. So, pretty good on repair stuff, really good on fuel. Let's get out there and see what we can make happen. Oh, I never changed the color scheme. How terrible is that? We'll worry about that much later, if at all. So, off to scan for spice. What I'm looking for is as many medium fields as I can snag, preferably in the PvP or PvE zone. Don't really want to fight tonight, trying to get this thing full, and it's quite a task. That 11,000 volume is huge. So, it's going to depend on 2 things. Number 1, is the desert going to cooperate? Are we going to get enough medium, smalls, whatever you want to call it, we're going to get enough spice in the PvE zone for me to fill this bad boy up? Or is it going to be stingy? And that is, questionable. I've come out here at times and there's spice everywhere. I've had multiple blooms going off all over the place. It's crazy. Like, holy cow, look at this. And then I've also come out here and found one. And then that was it. So, don't know. The other problem for our little endeavor here is people. Uh-oh, people. Are there other people out here currently hunting for spice? If so, that's going to take away some of our options. If they find it first or if they come down and try to harvest it with us. What I have, I was out here the other day this week, earlier in the week, and there was a medium spice blow. And I came out with, came out here and found one, went back, got my stuff, came back out. By the time I got here, there was a person with an assault on it. So I just flew up to him and I was like, hey, get your fill, and then once you're gone, I'll cover it. So I just sat there and hovered. And as I was doing that, they ended up, somebody else came along and started harvesting with them. By the time I'd sat there for a while and watched, and I was like, yeah, they're not going to leave anything on this field between the 2 of them. And maybe I'm being a little haughty at this, but it was ridiculous watching them land, fire compactors for a couple seconds, and then a worm comes and off they go up into the air. I was like, oh my gosh, I did 5 fields, mediums, in this setup, and in the course of gathering all of that, some of them weren't full. Some people had already pulled from some of them, but it was 5 total. I summoned a worm one time, and I knew it was going to happen, so I didn't care. But yeah, watching people hit those things over and over and over again, summoning worms, I was like, oh my gosh. But like I said, I'm trying not to be too haughty. Gonna solo a large field if I can, not if I can help it. If I have to, I have to. But I would prefer to just kind of stay here and do my own little thing. I don't think the fields this week are close as well, so we'd be. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Told you I was sick, guys. I'm sorry. But sneeze took my train of thought. I'll get it back. Hold on. Trying to fill up this size container. I don't know if maybe I need a large field in order to do that. Oh yeah, I remember now. I don't remember if the spice blooms are close or far away from the scaredy cat line. So far we're not doing too well, are we? Usually one over here, whether it's brand new or been hit yet. What's that? That's spice. So if you do this enough, even with it being dark, you start getting accustomed to seeing strange little color what's the word I'm looking for? Distortions, strange color, even at a distance. It's very easy for you to think that like that might be one because it's over there. It's like a dark patch, but that's just the top of a dune and the way the shadow goes. But this right here, you can see that from a mile away, that nice purple glow. It's supposed to be blue, by the way, if you're a fan of the books. But yes, it's supposed to be blue. I think they did that for a reason. I think the coloration, it was hard to get a blue. Yeah, that's a good one. It's hard to get a blue field, blue stuff, differentiate from the sky, but we got another blow right over there. So before we go down and grab this one, I'm going to look at that and see what she is. From a distance, it can be a little harder to tell. That looks like a small, but we're going to wait. And if we start seeing the mushroom clouds on top keep pulsing, then we know we got a medium, but I don't believe we do. Looks like she's blowing and then the dust is gone. But that's due west, the way we're going to be eventually heading. So, there you go. But anywho, we're going to tag this bad boy. The video that I'm making on solo harvesting is done. It's uploaded. It's processing. So tomorrow that'll be out. We're pretty much going to do everything we do in that video right now. So people who are already subscribers get to see the early venues. Where are we at? I don't want to do that. Where are we at? We are in E8. So we are close to the line. I don't know how far. Let's take a look at the map. Haven't really been over here. That's going to be PvP sector right there. So we're close, but it's good enough. I'm thinking this side right here is going to be where we want to start in. So let's get a deployment. Oop. Little side cut there. I don't know why. I'll put it right here. Yep, it's not sliding anywhere. So, 14, we'll say 1,500 meters away from me, a worm. Not a good start. All right, let's see what this faster motor can do. We usually would get 18 to 20. Can you not? I'm trying to do something here. I don't know. We are going uphill and stuff, so. My main concern is, like I said, usually if you watch my stuff, you'll know I like going back and forth. I don't mind running over it twice to go slower. I just don't want to have to do it a third time, you know. Oh, you got a base set up? Nah, that's cheating. Oh, 2, 5, and 8, huh? The other issue with doing large fields is I'm slow to scout right now. I would hate to fly out there all that way just to find empty sand. We'll make that judgment call, though. If we scan across the safe spots and we don't end up finding any more fields than this, at least we happened on one real quick, so there's no complaints there. I'm getting the scary music now. Dampened treads usually give me 3. But we did have a worm breach for whatever reason. Nope, a little further. Probably going to have to land at some point and fix this. Fix this paint job. So I'm uncertain as to why there was a breach or anything over there for some reason. When in doubt, get some air and see what's going on. He tried. He tried. He tried, but the rabbit is too quick. That's weird. Where you been coming from, bro? It's like rocks. He's just patrolling. Not trying to start any problems. While we're up in the air, we'll go ahead and refuel. Let's make sure water's fine. Everything looks okay. Kind of content to let him mosey on down the road, but I don't have that much time. Hello. Another small. So to give you an idea, we hit 3 swipes straight through the center of this bad boy, right? So we will come in here, drop you off. Bye. Wasn't that big of a hill, man. Try to set these bad boys down on sand dunes. They get a little unhappy about it. So we will tell you what. That's been real slow. The warning me or telling me about the fuel thing. It's like, dude, I did that forever ago. I'm gonna try to set her down on this side. That should act a little normal. Good. Thank you. And we're gonna drop it right here in the center. I don't know, man. This Walker motor doesn't seem to be doing anything. Is it like a Mark V? Did I read this wrong? Got some spice we didn't collect. We're going to get that. It's that kind of night. Alright. Here we go. Turn. Come on. I always do at least 2 swipes easily. With the dampened treads, I can also easily do 3. Sometimes I'll get a little saucy and we'll do a 4th one. It also depends on, if you do a stripe run up the center, that is a lot different than these little ones here on the edge. They're not quite as long, so your time in contact with the surface isn't quite as much. So that was our second stripe. We could pretty easily do a 3rd. Maybe a 4th, but I'm not sure if I want to press that. I don't know if I'm an idiot or not. I don't know what the green and the yellow on the canister means. It's yellow right now. I can't figure out what is happening when it's green and yellow, and I also I don't care enough to look it up. That sounds terrible. Oh, we're gonna summon a worm, aren't we? Normally I wouldn't have done this. This is special for you guys. Because pretty sure I'm going to summon a worm. The aggro should get high enough, and I can't get that last swipe, which means I'm going to have to land just for that. It'll be coming soon. Let's just get up into the air. Great. Thanks. We've got one more at least, maybe 2, and then we got that stuff in the center. That's annoying. Bastard. Got a fun day planned tomorrow. We are heading to New York City to go to a couple places. It's going to be fun. Won't mind the city so much. Would not want to live in a big city, though. Kind of like the open space. Do not fly off. Thank you. Like I'd said before, if somebody else comes along, and starts harvesting, we usually just vacate. So that's why I'm not going to go after those little pieces over there that we mixed, this thing here in the middle. Because I'd hate to go over there to get those and then have somebody land. I'd rather just go for the bulk stuff. We'll do cleanup at the end, and then we'll be on our way. So we're going to come down this slope. I want to try to get as much from these things as I possibly can. Usually you get 1.5 stacks, rows of stacks, if you do a medium field properly. I'm sorry, I'm just reading my deep desert chats. People's just talking. They're being helpful, which is a good thing. So see, now my thing is green. Wondering if it has something to do with the slots inside. This guy's angry. Must be one of those South Pole worms. We're gonna get out. I'm not scared of the worms, but he is concerning. He's definitely hanging around. And I know that the patrol technically can't hurt you, but you're not supposed to touch worms anywhere. That makes bad things happen. And I also don't trust them. Like right now, he's underground. That's fine. Now he's not. I've seen them go airborne. I've seen them. Dude, he went right where we were, too. Hey, fun fact. In the event that you do summon a worm and you can't get away, abandon your crawler. It sucks. Trust me, I know. But that's what he's after. He's not after you, and he's not after your carrier. He's after the crawler, and that's what he'll go for. So if you have to put space between that... I mean, something's gone. So you can make the sacrifice play, and at least your crawler didn't die in vain. Keep on going, dude. Get the hell out of here. I'm going to try to stay on top of the carrier fuel. Normally, I'll just let it roll, and then, oh yeah, I got to put fuel in, and I'll dump them in. In series. Oh, is this thing going to fly? I feel like it is. I think we're going to go flinging off to the side. Maybe if I put it down where it was. A little better angle. Not too thrilled about this. Being on this side. Not the way I like to be. It's going to be that kind of night, so. Whatevs. I did that because I'm going to be working my way that direction. So in the end, it'll be closer. You always want to... At some point, you're either going to be close or far away from your crawler. Either when you deploy it or when you're trying to pick it up. And in my book, I'd rather, when nothing bad is happening, have to cover some open sand. To get to my crawler from my carrier landing spot, I would much rather do that so that as I'm harvesting, I'm working my way closer to the crawler, so in case something bad does happen, in case something bad does happen, um, we're in better shape because we're closer. Quite a few small fields going on. I really don't have to do this backwards swipe on the outer edges, like it's like a little donut. Um, the concentrations aren't high enough that I didn't get it on my first pass. So technically could just spin around and come back. All right, let's break all my rules. And we'll go after that part that we didn't get. Right now. Let's be as far away from the escape route as we possibly can. Can't always play it safe. Sometimes you got to remember the thrill. Okay, we're going to do a shot straight across the bow here to pick up those pieces in the middle that we missed, and then we are done with this field. We'll take a look at the totals. That's good enough, right? Boop. All right, we'll let her coast, and our total for this field: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks plus 1,400. So, rock and roll. Look at us on the wrong side. Ugh. And we are heading out. So from that field, we ended up getting, how much is that? 25, 5, 6, 12, it's 15. We're at about 16 and a half thousand. If we go grab these little small fields, 500. It's no bueno. Not a good source or use of our time. Okay, so we are, like I said, in E8. Trying to quit. Like, screw this, I'm going home. We can head dead west from here. I'm going to actually come down a little bit. I'm glad to leave this guy behind, man. He is a douchebag. Hopefully he doesn't follow us too far. So we're going to drop down a little bit, and what I like to do is, like I said, this is E sector, so we're in D. This is actually pretty good. Running this line here, I can see all the stuff that would matter to me. So from this point, we're going to head dead west and see what we can find. I'd like to also get a little bit more height. I'd like to keep it around like 700, play around in that area. And let's see what we can see. It's a medium field. That's going to be in the bad area. Hmm. So, thought process here. The line between PvE and PvE goes straight across the map, so it is an east to west line. From wherever we're at, if we need to cross that border to get away from peoples, then we need to head straight south. However, in this case, heading straight south is kind of going to lead us right into that ship, which is going to keep us in PvP, which we don't want to happen. Hold on one second. I got to answer somebody there. Let me come over here real quick. Drop this down so chat's not too discussing. Let's get back in here. I'm just messing with the people on my server. The Harco players refer to us Atreides individuals as Atreides scum. I feel like that guy's following me. That worm. Alright, well, we're in PvP zone. So, here we are. My server is pretty relaxed. There is fighting. This is kind of an iffy situation. Is it worth coming into the PvP zone where I could get attacked by other players to get a medium spice field? Not really. Because mediums happen all the time in the south side, which is much safer. Does this grab people's attention? Well, absolutely. Individuals that want to fight, they will look for it anyway. So this is risky. That one, for my taste, is a little too far away. Far away, I mean a little too far away. Can't see anything. This wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have the big flare going up. But it's kind of nice that we've got this big hillside here to shield us from prying eyes. Also makes us blind. All right. This right here is the moment of danger. Out in the open, that's when you get hurt. Here, the vehicle will take some of the damage. So transitioning out of the carrier to the crawler and from the crawler to the carrier, that's when the worst is happening. Right now, if somebody came down and shot at me, the carrier's going to take most of the damage. What you'll want to do then is you'll want to avoid getting out. If they're attacking you from the air, you can try to wait until they're fired off of a volley, or they're jumping out. Wait until they're into a transition, and at that point you can zoop in there and change over. Also, the big solar flare going up, the spice flare, like I said, makes me blind. I can't see much except this cloud. I'd feel a whole lot better if we were doing this after the flare would go away. But we don't always get to choose, so. It's also the sound effects of these medium fields are somewhat annoying. Like, come on, man, it's terrifying. All right, so what are we doing here? We're gonna look around. We're gonna see. Yeah, I think that's the one that we saw earlier, because we were over there looking at it. So we're looking around and seeing if there's bad people afoot. All right. Now we don't have a very good landing strip. We have kind of... Oh, good. This will be ending soon. The reason I like that it's ending is because that makes us a little more camouflaged. People don't necessarily know to come running over here because, hey, there's a spice bloom. Maybe there's somebody on it. And also opens up our vision so we could see a tad better.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
So now we got a sandstorm to deal with. And it's in 3 minutes. I'm not sure what direction it's coming from. I do not want to get out of my thopter in the PvP zone to hide from a storm. Being this close to the border, on the border of PvP, PvE, there's always a bunch of rocks. They do that so that we as players have a place to build and have our little bases. So what we're going to do is we're going to vacate this area. We'll tag it just in case. To top of
Sector weather
F7.
alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Am I flying into it? Ah, okay. I think that might be our best option, and we are hoping. We might be able to get around this bad boy. It's not really coming at us super fast. Looks like it's going to clip, but I think we can make it to these rocks better than we could make it anywhere else. But I think this one's going to miss us. I think we evaded it.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is
Okay,
approaching.
not yet, because it's still saying it's going to hit us, so... Alright, so whoever that is going to go hit that that spice bloom that just went off. Good for them. They're very brave to take to the air with a storm coming. Of course, they might not know that it's coming. So... we are safely back in PvP area. We go over here, we'll definitely get rid of. We'll bypass that storm, so that's okay. We can probably stay in the air. That was close. That was close. Oh, schematics, dude. Not entirely sure what's going on. I just wanted to turn the schematics off.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Paying a heavy price for that mistake. I just want to take a cool picture, man. My poor Sandcrawler out there. Getting all beat to shit. Ugh. Alright. Oh, I wonder how much damage she took. We weren't in the storm for long, so that'll be okay. Really surprised it clipped us. I didn't think it was gonna. I've been caught in those. They suck. There's lightning and all sorts of crap flying around. Big chunks of stuff. Tears your wings apart. We did take a little bit of wing damage, but not a whole lot. We're actually going to do this small field. The reason we're doing this small field is because I want to land and see what kind of damage we took. And might as well. I gotta focus, dude. Maybe I should be doing this while we're not feeling well. Let's take a look. Sorry. Not too bad. I've seen it in worse shape. Let's get some fuel in us. Just to keep us on there. And then we'll go ahead and hit this. And then we'll make some decisions about where we want to go. Now, I believe the player that we saw come out of their base was going to respond to that spice bloom. Interesting thing, though, is, like I said, they flew out of into a storm. Sorry. It's that same worm, I'm pretty sure. He's not being very nice to us. But that guy flew out and headed that way. That's brave. That's very brave. Alright. Did we get it all at least? No, we left a little tiny patch, but I'm okay with that. This night's crazy. What the hell is going on? Dude, I'm leaving. Just, Jesus. So our mark for that, the one that we were doing in PvP, or PvE area, is at 65k away. 65k. 6,500 meters away. 6.5k. And we saw somebody. So... But at least there's another thing to draw attention, so why not, right? The worms hate us. We took a little bit of damage from a storm that we foolishly thought we were going to get away from, but didn't. First, before we get too crazy, we'll do this. Also, chat on the game. Somebody ID'd that storm. Just as it was coming across us. It didn't hit us yet, but they were like, oh, storm. Which tells me they're not that far away. Depending on the warning they got. And also, with the direction that storm was headed, they aren't in the good spots. They aren't in the good, happy spots that we like for people to leave us alone at. So we're an hour in. And we're not even remotely close to a decent set, or a decent haul. I think that's going to be a small, right? I love the horror sound effect that they have attached to that. It's like, calm down. bad enough. We're going to drop in altitude some. If there is somebody over there, we don't need them seeing us. Being up in the sky definitely would do that. Also, your best defense if you do get attacked by somebody is to gain altitude. So, you know, at 400, I've got 300, 400 meters of height that I could still grab. I'm not seeing any worm sign, though. I wouldn't see the sign from here, so I'm actually talking about a breach, which would indicate someone's over there. Still don't see anybody, so. All right. Now, once we drop that off, I am going to make one last peek around everywhere and see. I like it when it spawns me underneath, because if rockets were coming in, the carrier would help protect me a little bit. And we finally got rid of the plume, so we're not letting everybody know there's a reason to come over here. So let's see if we can just slide under the radar a little bit with some spice harvesting. Because we're in the PvP section, I may not be as retentive as I always am with the get every bit of it. We'll leave those fringes. Don't care about them. We'll get the bulk amount and then we'll get out of here. So, like I said, always keeping an eye out, looking for anything and everyone. I was talking with the person who attacked me the other day when I was at that control point. And I did mention that it's all good. I was in the PvP zone, so I'm not going to get mad at you for attacking me. But it also was, as I said, a teaching moment, at least for me. Kind of woke me up because I've been a little slack. Spending far too much time in areas where I can't potentially get hurt. So we started to get sloppy. And that's a bad thing, because when you get sloppy, that's how bad things, that's how accidents happen. That's how equipment gets lost. That's how angry, sad feelings are made. There is no difference in worm aggro as far as PvP, PvE zones. They're all the same. It can be a little weird for the large fields. They have they are their own little area, I would say. Alright, so we're going to get right up on this bad girl here. Very quick, very smooth transition. That's what we're looking for. Now, unfortunately, in order to clear that worm aggro, I've got to get up high, which is going to be telling everybody that I'm here. What do you think? I think that's a small. Yep, sure is. If no one's hitting that, we might hit it on the way out, you know? We might. Go ahead, refuel here. That's a very high up deployment. Ugh. Normally don't like making the cables that long. And we're going to break our rule. Park on this side. You definitely don't want to hit your shield to protect you, but you know that's going to call a worm. But to be honest, you know, who cares about calling a worm if you get killed, you know? So when faced with the potential of calling a worm versus eating a rocket, I think the rocket should take precedence, you know? We're going to do one. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet. That's one. It's funny. It's like one of those situations where I think not speaking is going to make, you know, a difference. It's like when you're playing a horror game, so you just don't say anything. I'm going to do one more swipe through here, and I believe we're going to call ourselves done. I don't like the layout over there going any further because it's swooping down the hill and craziness and stuff. So I think, and this area to the right just isn't a thick enough concentration. Okay, we got bad guys inbound. So I don't know if they're mean or if they're just hanging out. But we're not going to stick around to find out. It appears though they were just doing a flyby. Pretty sure they saw me. They should have anyway. Might be on their way to a testing station or something, which is fine. If they want to do that, they can have fun. The problem is that sometimes a target of opportunity shows up, and people who normally weren't going to do anything will take the opportunity. So we are going to head on away. We are done with that field. This was the other one that we saw. We are still in F, right? Yes, so we were in F. So we've got at least half a zone to cover if we try to run away. And we've been spotted. So not a good idea to hit this field. So we're going to do it. This is a much better placement. we're at least going to do some runs right up the middle. Get as much of the concentration as we can. Definitely going to keep my eyes open back here. See who we can see. If those guys, like I said, are heading out to a testing station or one of the caves out there or something like that, it won't take them long to do it. So they won't be on their way back for a minute or two or 3. If they're scouting to see if any large fields are blown or anything, they probably won't even come back this way. Again, we're basing our livelihood and survival on a probably, which is never a good idea. But we are definitely going to keep a much better eye on the sky since we saw that. Now, there was a person who used to be on my server who was really just a real crappy individual. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but Phobix used to come on here all the time, and his whole point in life was to fly out here in the PvP zone and jump players who were harvesting spice. He would hide in the testing stations and caves and stuff like that and just jump people. And the thing about it is, if you get killed, I mean, you respawn, you know? You just respawn. Your stuff might be a little damaged, but you don't lose anything except some of the odd junk you were carrying. He also liked to las gun your ships. And you're like, if he jumped me right now, he'd kill me. And then he would either thumper or las gun. Well, he'd do both. And let the worm eat it. So, you know, that was just fun for him. Not my idea of fun. It's messing with people. But that's what you have to worry about in this kind of situation right here. Is I'm in, hanging out in the PvP zone, potentially risking a douchebag jumping me. Especially since we saw people fly overhead. So. Where are we, by the way? You're still in F? Yeah, F6. A little concerned about going back down for that last swipe. We're going to vacate. I'll tell you what, we'll mark it, though. That way we know where it is. We're going to head due south just to get out of here. Sometimes you want to go with your instincts. If you feel like it's a bad idea, there's a good chance it's a bad idea. So we're going to head out. Even though we're still in PvP, the fact that we've now cycled into E, I know all I got to do is cover half of this quadrant and we'll be safe. We'll land and see how much we got. If the desert is not kind to us tonight, we may end up doing quite a long stream. We're already an hour and 20, and I know we're nowhere near filling up this thing, so we might have signed up for a long run there. I got a medium there, or a small field right off on the side of the hill, but I don't care about that. Let's hope there's not a control point over here so we can just land and get a handle on things. Tell you what, though, we definitely need to get some fuel in this bad girl. Go on, baby, keep climbing. There you go, 75, not bad. Rock. Ah, there's a control point. Control points are going to be PvP areas, so people could start a fight there, and especially if you accidentally get close enough to it and it's one that could be contested. Alright, I don't know whose base this is, but I'm just checking on my ships, okay? So, whoever you are, I'll get off your lawn in just a second. Now, I brought in like fully set up equipment, so I don't have to do this, but this is one thing you can do, is you can come out here and you can repair your vehicles and stuff mid-run, if you have to. Forgetting water would be tragic because you'll die, and forgetting fuels would be tragic because you'll get stuck somewhere. But if you're going to forget something, welding wire is the best thing to either forget or run out of. Because, hey, my thing's about to break. That's not good. Did I bring two? Oh, we're such a dummy. Look, I didn't bring another one, and this one's about to break. It's all right. We don't have to repair too much. How we doing? We still got plenty of fuel, so that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and... we'll go ahead and refuel everything while we're here in the ground. I'm getting a proximity chat from somebody, so somebody I know. All right, did this thing get... oh. There you go. That's the guy that shot at me the other day. But we settled our differences. 72% fuel, everything's good there. Let's go ahead and pop another fuel into it. Already at maximum fuel. I want to see this and see how much we're at. So 2.5. We are at 5,000 out of the 11. So we're almost halfway there with just two of them. Not bad. So if we can get 2 or 3 more, then we'll be set to go. Oh, player's already in a party. Don't answer that. I didn't want that. I didn't mean to invite you to a party. I was actually just clicking on buttons, man. Nothing against you, but it's kind of a dumb thing to do, to run a stream that says, hey, we're going to solo Spice and then go into a party. Oh, I should have healed. Should have thrown some bandages on. The reason I say that is another thing that happens when you're playing this game and you stop paying attention to some of the important stuff. Good example of that is just this. I am currently, what do you think, 2/3? 2/3 of my health? In case I get into a bad situation or a problem pops its head up, I've already done 1/3 of my health damage work for a potential bad guy. Why would I do that, you know? Don't give your opponent an advantage. Walking around already hurt. It's funny that I'm doing this because I already learned that lesson once. I was relatively hurt, but still kept doing stuff. And then a person came out of the sky and hit me with a spit dart and poisoned me. I managed to get back into my ship and start flying away, and then I died to the poison in the ship. So then I popped out, it crashed, I landed, bad things occurred. But if I was full health, that wouldn't have happened. Poison would have hurt me, but it wouldn't have killed me. So that was dumb on my part. That's some water. We're in E, so I don't want to go too far straight north. So let's... Where are we at? We just cross a border? No. Yeah, so we're running through the lower portion. That's good. Let's get some height so we can take a look around. Oh, look over there. So we got a little too high. We're burning a little too much fuel. That's not good. But we're already in E. Is this going to be another PvP situation? We're heading northwest west. Maybe, maybe not. If it is, this isn't so bad. The closest base that I've come across is somebody I know who I don't think is going to try to hurt me. And we are so close to the border. Be really hard pressed for somebody to do enough damage to us before we get over. That's right on the edge, huh? It's funny, I kind of titled this as like, yeah, if we have to, we'll head into PvP parts, but I sure hope we don't have to. And this will be our 4th field, and it's all we can do now. Everything's... We got one that was in the PvE zone. We'll do some free looking while that's dropping into place. At least there is one good thing. The whole time we're being goofy and playing around here, we're making water. Oh. Much better. This is actually really nice. We have huge amounts of view. We are right next to the zone line, so just a hop, skip, and a jump south and we'll be okay. As long as we don't get ambushed, we'll be alright. And how do you get ambushed? By not paying attention. Even sometimes when you're paying attention, bad things can happen, so don't get me wrong, but yep. Okay. Nice bright sunny day. Definitely no complaints. So while we're doing this and driving back and forth and watching the skies, I can do that and talk about something else. Sometimes I'll have to stop because we're not that good, but for the most part, with Season 3, they're going to be making some changes to this game, which hopefully will improve the game overall and bring in new players. And it's one of the things I want to talk about is the specialization. How did I miss those? That's terrible. Um, so basically, specialization right now, honestly, everybody's the same. You know, we're all the same people, the characters. There's no real skill differences. And at first, I thought, you know, the swordmaster, mentat, all that stuff was going to matter, but you can master every skill. So, I mean, you're going to see your most popular skills show up on players. There might be a couple people out there who are eccentric, but for the most part, everybody uses the same stuff because it works. That's not a discredit to people. I mean, you use what works. But the specialization is not so much adding anything else, something that we really don't have. It's more making what we have better. And to specialize in one class or one path is going to be an incredible investment. It's not something that you're going to be able to, you know, take a vacation from work and in 3 days you've logged in, completed every mission, and away you go. There's going to be daily requirements. Or daily limitations. You're not going to be able to just go in and knock them out and automatically day one you're 100%. Which is good. I mean, you know, some people don't like the concept of being drip fed. We're getting close to needing to go airborne here. Just want to say that out loud so I don't have an excuse for what's about to happen. But yeah, being drip fed content is kind of poopy, but I get why they do it, and it's not so angering. I see this specialization as being, well, almost anything is, but it's a kind of a double-edged sword here. Is it going to be cool? Yes, absolutely, and it's going to allow you to make quite a few different changes to your characters and your play style, depending on which route you want to go. But one thing that concerns me is, let's say a player who picks up the game, brand new, starts on their journey, right? And then you have a player like me who's, you know, way up there in the experience levels and all that stuff. And I've already unlocked the requirements to start doing specialization. So I go with combat. That's what I do. I'm super awesome in combat. So I'm making myself even more lethal than I already am. And then that new player, as they're progressing along, or even a regular player who's just not, you know, 24/7 into the game, they end up crossing paths with me in a zone where I can hurt them. What chance do they have? That's not a statement, more so that is actually a question. A player who has taken the time to specialize that much, what chance does a new or average player have against them? A genuine question, like I said. And I don't know the answer to that. But what worries me about it is the answer none? Like none at all? It is possible that there is no chance. When you're doing, if I believe I'm correct, if you max out the combat specialization, you're going to do 100% more damage once you max it out. That's going to be the top bonus. No one's going to max it out day one. It's going to take a long time for them to get to that point. But also, while they're doing that, other players are going to be progressing to the point where they get to areas like this. And I'm a little concerned that, is specialization going to widen the gap between experienced and inexperienced to a point where there's absolutely no chance that a non-specialized combat player can survive? And I'm not talking about just, you know, skill level, like, oh, you've never done PvP, so you don't know it. Somebody who, like, say right now, loves PvP, does it often, and is good at it. If they don't play and let somebody else who is the exact same as them work on specialization and max that thing out, does that open up a gap so wide that there's no competition? That's what I would like to know. I also have concerns with the other things. Like, obviously for me, I would really focus on the gathering, because I'm farming. Even without all the bonuses, there are some moments where I have to ask myself, why am I bothering to do this? This is a good example. I have enough melange in my bases collected already that I could play this game for several months and be okay. By okay, what I mean by that is when you repair things, you use some melange for it. When you build things, when you create and make them, you use melange. There's a lot of things you use it for, but I have enough to where I could go for months. Sorry, I was distracted there. I could go for months without needing to ever make any more. So why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because I want to fill this carrier, this Sandcrawler up. That's why I'm doing this. And I'll stockpile it or sell it. If I specialize in farming and gathering, is that going to open up a problem? For a player who's already kind of trying to find a reason to do this, is it going to be a problem that is compounded? Now that I'm being more efficient in my hunting and gathering, is that just getting me to the point where I'm at now, or passing the point I'm at now even faster? I guess the big thing there is there going to be stuff that I'm going to be spending all these extra resources on? I hope so. The issue there with that also is a person who doesn't specialize in the farming and gathering and stuff. Does that mean there's things that are going to be out of their reach because they aren't doing this? And if so, how do we deal with that? Well, look, more spice. I think a big point that they're doing here also is it seems like we're trying to push this towards a guild setup type game, where that's a new medium, where the best guild is going to have people who are spec'd out for farming. They're the ones that collect the materials for everybody to use. And then you have people who are spec'd out for combat, and they're the ones who protect the farmers when they go into areas like this. Or they're the ones that are getting the materials out of the special chests in those special areas because they're fighting their way through. And it works because, a person who wants to do PvP combat does not want to sit behind the wheel of this Sandcrawler like I'm doing. They want to get out there and fight. But they're going to need some of these materials that I'm collecting in order to do that. But they don't want to do that. They just want to go out and fight. Well, I want the stuff that's in the fighting sections, but I'm not good at fighting, or I don't want to go fighting, or I'm not built up to be a fighter. So I'll go out and collect all this stuff because that's what I like doing, and then I'll give it to you, and you go and use it to protect yourself and make yourself stronger and give you better weapons. And you go kill people and take the cool things, and then when you come back, you'll give some of them to me. It seems to be the way they're pointing this, that they're trying to get us more guild-like, I guess would be the best way to put it. I'm not for or against that. But it does... Oh, let's do fun stuff. Yeah, let's get stuck on our vehicles in the PvP zone. That's what was missing from the night. Some people don't like being part of a group. I don't mind. I don't mind being part of a group. It's just, you know, my contributions are going to be kind of strange. I can fight, and I have fought, but I don't want to. You know, this is like a farming simulator for me, man. This is a way to relax. Combat, fighting against players, for me, is not relaxing. If I want to do that, I'll just go play like Battlefield or something like that. A much more combat-oriented game. This is just relaxing to me. So, being in a group, as long as that group isn't super crazy, ridiculously serious, then I'm fine with it, you know? I've seen groups where they're like, hey, you gotta contribute this much stuff every month or they get kicked out. I'm like, well, all right, thank you. Thank you for talking with me. One guild that I was talking to, the guy was like, there's like an interview process, which I was like, oh, okay. Kind of makes sense, you know? If you're going to have a group of players that are going to play a bunch together, making sure you get the right people is definitely a good thing. And they wanted more PvP commitment than I was willing to do. So, come on, man. Oh my god. So that one didn't work out. But I did like the fact that they were investing instead of just, yeah, take any douchebag off the street, because you never know what kind of people you're getting. Love to know how much was in there. I should have checked that before we rolled up. Heading south. I think I saw a small somewhere over here. Maybe we'll stop and get it and check and see. Same thing. We might be at 4 rows. I don't know. It's possible. We are definitely in E4. So we've got 3 to 4 sectors still left to explore on our quest for a completely full carrier. Although I can guarantee you that we do know, oh, there it is over there, but I'm not going after that one. We definitely do not have enough water to make all of this. Look. Is that a fellow carrier? I think it is. Or it might be an assault. Not sure if he's looking at me or not. I don't think he was. I think he was. I think that looked like a carrier, just like me, flying away. So, kudos to you. Maybe they're heading to a large. And I think we'll just let the mystery. Oh, I don't want to go over there because it's putting me close to the ship. Yeah, we'll let the mystery of how much is in our Regis Centrifuge go for a little bit. But yeah, back to GuildCon questions or talking about that. That seems to me to be what they're pushing more to, is more of a team-based kind of concept, which I'm fine with, but I don't know, does it support this kind of thing? I'm trying to think if there's any kind of activity that specifically would require more than one person. I mean, obviously more than one person makes an activity faster. So, you know, I went into one of the other testing stations with another player yesterday. Actually, we did two. Three of us did one of them, and then two of us did the other one. And it was two of us doing the wave after wave after wave one, which I don't particularly like. But between the two of us, we knocked that thing out in record time. That was really quick and efficient. And it was nice because, you know, the bigger characters, the flamethrower guys and the minigun guys would engage one of us, and the other person would come out from behind them, beside them, and engage them as well. It was kind of nice not being the single point of focus in running those things, because that makes it a little tough, and you're running and gunning a lot more than I would sometimes like to. So being a team type concept is great, but the other thing is, just with these specializations, I'm concerned that it literally will do exactly what it's supposed to do. And by that I mean, all right, we're in D1, so this is as far west as we can go. So we don't see anything around here. There's still a little bit before we hit the wall, but there's no point in going over there. If there was a spice bloom, we would see it. All right, so we got to turn around. We'll head in just a little bit, because there could be some a little further in. We've been running the PvP, PvE line this whole time. So we'll see. I'm just a little concerned, like I said, with the specialization, that it has the capacity or the capability to put things out of reach if you don't specialize. That's what concerns me. Is the gap between a specialized combat and a non-specialized combat going to be so great that there's nothing that you can do? That even the most skilled PvE player without specialization is going to be so hindered that, you know, it becomes unplayable. With all these farming bonuses, are they going to start requiring so much materials that if you don't have a friend doing it for you, you have to do it yourself? You have to be farming. You know, those kind of situations. I don't want that to happen. I think it'd be kind of poopy to see things. I like the fact that I can do anything I want. Some things are harder than others, but nothing's impossible. I just hope the specialization doesn't start pointing us in that direction. I kind of saw that happening with the first Descendant when I was playing that, and they did that little skill tree thing. You know, you find that you've made your players seriously overpowered to the activity. The only option you have is to make the activity much harder. But what about all the people that didn't go that route, who didn't go the specialization to make it so ultra easy? Now, what is it to them? You know, how do you balance that kind of thing? I saw a couple videos I was watching about it, and one person brought up a comment that they said that in order to max out every single specialization tree, because you get 5 missions, 5 daily missions, you would have to every day log in and complete all 5 missions to get the maximum XP amount. Almost a year's worth of gameplay, like real life. You'd have to play however long it takes you to complete those activities, the quests. It's basically just going to be like contracts like we've been doing before. But they said that you would have to play every day and do all 5 missions every day for almost a year in order to max out every single thing. It sounds like a whole bunch, but keep in mind they time gated it so that, you know, you can't just specialize in one day. Oh, come on. We were... I mean, I know it's a giant ornithopter, but man, she of curves. Like a battleship. Not doing too well in the spice sightings now all of a sudden. We had a whole bunch of stuff happen in places we didn't necessarily want to be. Don't ruin this for me, Deep Desert. We could go back and pull the rest from that field we left, if we absolutely have to. We got a small field up ahead. We could set down and take a look at our storage. Hi. So there's a small field there. We're going to go ahead and hit this one. I mean, we're just looking for a place to sit down so we could see what we got. Not sure what's going on there. That looks like a medium. It's not the one we already hit, though, right? That might be the one that we didn't want to go to because it was a little further in than I'd like going. Let's just hit the ground and see what we were looking at. Okay. How much you got in you? We're at 76. We do need quite a bit still. Small fields are definitely not going to help, especially since I don't even have the vacuum on. But since we're here, we'll grab it. And we'll come up with a game plan. We may have to make a run out into scary places. We already kind of did a little bit tonight, but we might have to do it even more. You know what? We might as well snag this tiniest little bit. Since we're down here. Let's put some fuel in this bad boy too so we don't have to worry about it later. Slightly tint on the treads in the centrifuge. So we're doing great. Now we've got an extra 500 in there where we didn't before. It's at 1671. So rock and roll. Wonder how long it would take to fill this bad boy up with just small fields. Oh, that would be what a nightmare. Oh, we're at about the midway portion of the map because it's about 10K to my base from the center. I know, I'm too high. Oh. We're going to keep heading this way, and we're going to have to make a decision. We're 4 minutes away from the 2-minute mark. 2 minute, 2 hour. Oh, now we're out of coffee. So, yeah. Overall, what would I give the concept of the specialization? I'd give it like a 7 out of 10, not having experienced any of it at all. I think it's a good idea, letting people customize their characters a little bit more. And I'm just going to have to put my faith in the devs. I know. But I'm going to have to put my faith in the devs that they're not going to do something that's going to be incredibly destructive to the game as it exists. I know. The minute you start trusting devs is the minute you get let down, but still. Man, we got nothing, guys. Nothing. So this marker, which we still have in place, is the marker for that one field that we left mostly. We took a couple shots from it, but we didn't take the full thing. I love the distortion there, that it can't render quite properly. That used to be a telltale sign of spice. Now I think it's just zone centers. We didn't take all of these two fields that were over here. We're basically combining, because we took the one from the very beginning, then we went into PvP and took another partial, and then took another partial, and then left. So there's still some spice to get in these little sections. This is it coming out. Yep, there's the line. It does quite look like I was the only one to pull anything from it. I don't see any... Oh, hey! I don't see any distortion. Even from this altitude, I would be able to look down and see people pulling from it. So the reason we vacated this last time was because... Oh, that's awesome. The reason we vacated this last time was because those people had flown over us. So we left this behind because I grabbed a couple stripes from it right down the center, and then I was like, yeah, we're going to just go because I don't want to risk it. But there's been enough time that I'm sure they're not in the area anymore or weren't interested in the first place. So we're going to set back down and we're going to pull some more from this and see if we can fill this thing up. Honestly, I could have just gone to a large field if one's open. I don't know if any are. Quick check. Good, we spawned underneath it. And then we're just on guard. the most amount of time I've spent in the PvP zone harvesting spice in quite a long time. It's just been lucrative enough and met my needs that I didn't have to go out there. Or out here, I should say. The safe sand is there. Probably going to have to take care of that. I can't let that stand. What if somebody sees that? Professional. So, we're just watching the skies. That was much better. That's looks like a professional game. It does irritate me because I like to, you know, be thorough and get every piece and not leave horrible looking marks. But I also don't care enough. I saw something. I don't know what it was. Is it a bird? We're gonna go. The reason I say that is we've done 3 swipes, so there's that. I saw something that could have been a bird, could have been another player, don't know. One common thing you can do though is you fly in and then you jump out of your thopter and you pocket it real quick, and then you run up on foot to your unsuspecting target, because it's pretty easy to see a thopter coming down out of the sky. So I'm not sure exactly what I saw, but it's enough to warrant caution. I don't see anything. We have lost any good direction to come at this field, though. This part down here right below us to the right of where we've been harvesting is pretty much thinned out, so it's not the most beneficial to hit it. And we got rough terrain on this side, but there is at least more spice, you can see. We're just checking the premise, looking at the sand. Interesting. It's an awful big bloom. Nope, just a small one. All right. Let's set ourselves down. Grab a couple swipes from this side over here, and then we can go check out that original one that we went to and see if it's still got anything left. I think we left some. I knew you were going to deflect. And now you're spinning around. Great. Oh my. I don't even know where I'm pointing now. It's a great spawn, though, for a combat zone. Coming in right underneath her. Hmm. I don't quite remember how far into the PvP zone we had to go. It was that direction, so it was basically like a north, northeast of here was that other field that we took a good amount from, though. All right, we're going to do one more swipe through this, and then well, I guess maybe we'll do the rest. Maybe we'll clear this one all the way out. If we do, this will be the third field that we've cleared. Just a little right there. I don't know if I care, though. I do. Of course I do. 'Tis a bird. 'Tis another bird. Okay. Can we stop with the birds, please? And now there's mice. Okay. Cinderella crap going on here. No, Snow White, sorry. Cinderella didn't care about animals. Yes, she did. They're the ones that made her dress. What am I thinking about? Not a conversation I expected to have with myself there for a moment, but yes. Alright, we're gonna snag this. We're gonna check real quick on what the... how much we got. And then we're gonna see what we're gonna do. 9,000, so we're about 2,000 away. That was me. I let go of it too soon. Alright, I guess we're just doing this. Crappy landing spots. Before we do, let's do one more peek around. Everything looks alright. Wah. Oh, okay, because that's fun. Thank you. It has actually been very quiet, so... it is a good thing. My deep desert chat has gone completely silent, so now a little concerning. Are people logging off, or are they occupied, or are they in stealth mode? Oh, that scared me. It got so crazy when we did that. 93. So we are 2,000 shy. Still. Not the side I wanted to get out of, and now we're just going to do this. Cool. Cool. Okay, there we are. Now we're safe. Ish. I hate to say it, but I think we're going to have to get brave. Braver than we are right now. Why not? This should finish it off, though. And it just happened, so that's good. Hold on a second. What it's doing. All right. Should be fine. Ugh. So this is semi-dangerous because this thing just went off, which means we're going to spend the whole time completely blind. When we look around, we're going to see nothing but spice. This was the one that we saw earlier that we didn't want to go to because it was further in than we wanted to go. However, now that we've got this one going off, anybody out there will see this and could potentially take it, which might mean we've got a shot to get 2,000 out of this field and leave. Not 2,000 individual, but 2,000 volumes worth. And if we can't, and we need more still, we'll hit that one, and that's actually on the way out. So we might have achieved this. Only took an extra 15 minutes for the world to happen. We're in G, so we are 2 sectors, basically, from safety. This one presents a little bit of a problem. I don't like going over the mounds. I don't like losing sight of my carrier. So we're not gonna. We're gonna push up to it. Push up to the hill and then we'll back off. One benefit that we have with that, though, is that does give us a little bit longer to take out the side, because normally we would be going up and over all the way. So we can actually do probably 4, maybe 5 pushes on this. We'll get right up to the top and then we'll back off. We gotta scan the skies. Looking good. So far, so good. I don't know exactly how much 2,000 volume is going to be. but I know we can get it from these two fields. We could probably get it from just this one. And you can see that we've already got some darker orange showing up on these brand new parts. Dr. Kind says desert's hard on equipment too. That carryall was just old. For the sake of bravado, we're going to do a 5th swipe up. We'll land. Once we reset, we'll go the other direction. It's funny how that bloom is, you know, a flare when you're farming that field, but when you find one that's not like we are now, that flare becomes a distraction, which is awesome. Honestly, couldn't have asked for a better setup. Well, this could have been in the PvE zone. We wouldn't have to be scared of anything except worms. All right, let's get out here. We're gonna be on the wrong side, but we can deal with that. There's nobody bad about, and we're in. That's a good amount of spice we just pulled there. Let's reset our worm aggro. Come on. There you go. I don't want to be getting too high. Eh? Hello. That should be a small. No, that is not a small. This is good as well, because now we got 2 blooms drawing people's attention away from our happy little behinds. I like that. Let's back up some. I'm going to assume we're going to get about the same amount of runs. So I'm going to set down here. Seriously, dude. Come on. That's too far to run. PvE, I might have done it. All right, now that we got silliness, look, okay. I'll be able to hit the ground properly here. Thank you. Another quick check, and we're gonna land. I'm actually gonna try to go pretty far over. That should do it. And now the scary run for our life. Perfect. I'm actually going to hit the button to make the vacuum work. It collects a lot more spice when the vacuum is actually on versus how much it collects when the vacuum's off. So while we're here, 10-3, so we got 1,000 left. That was about 1,000 we pulled just now. So we might be done at the end of this field. Because we still got the other side there. We could zip across if we really, really want to. That just kind of makes life better even more better. With another medium that blew over there. So again, you know, people come running, they're going to stop there. Potentially leave us alone. is kind of surprising the amount of damage that we're seeing already. I mean, it's been a couple hours, real time. I just don't feel like I've been out here long enough to warrant the amount of damage we're showing. Although I did let it sit out in the storm when it came through, so that obviously didn't help. We're actually going to do something that I don't like doing, and that is completely filling up a carrier, our Sandcrawler, and transporting it through PvP. The reason I don't like doing that is, you know, this is a game for people to play however they want. And if they want to engage other players, whether it's, you know, a test or if they're just douchebags or for whatever reason they're fighting other players just for the thrill of it. Sometimes the difference between a player who doesn't care about messing with somebody and a player who decides to mess with somebody is opportunity. And as we are sitting here filling this up, once it actually does get completely full, gotta be close. Yeah, we're only 1,000 away. Once it gets full, these things flash red. So for a person to be just like moving along, like, I don't really want to mess with anybody, and then they end up seeing my happy ass flying around the desert with a big strobe light underneath going, full of spice, full of spice, full of spice. Kind of like I'm asking for somebody to mess with me. And a player who, oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's horrible. The reason that's horrible is because we're within the spawn area. Dingleberry could pop right up on top of us. Ruin our day. Oh, man. Don't do it, dude. Just give me a little bit of time. Don't you fly. Thank you. But, under normal circumstances, I would not be sitting down here. Now that ship is there, it's funny because that ship's been there this whole time. So, you know. But now that I'm aware of it, I'm terrified. All of a sudden, it's getting very unfun. Come on, man. Turn red. Here we go. All right. There she is, folks. One completely full Regis carrier. Crawler, sorry. Don't eat me, don't eat me, don't eat me. Okay. Perfect. Alright, he chose to be over there. That's good, but you can see where he spawned versus where the ship is. He could have easily come up right underneath us, right under our feet. So whenever I see a crashed ship like that, I tend to give him a wide berth. I don't want to get caught up in the nonsense that doesn't apply to me. And there you go. There you see that red light. We're in F5. We got a full zone to cover. "120 kilometers heading dead south." That's as fast as we can get there. Like I said, we put 2 bodies in the death stills, which made us 40,000 water, whatever. Those guys have long ago processed. I mean, we're almost 3 hours into the 2.5 hours into the stream, so they're done. They finished a while ago. Would have been probably smarter to go back and put more in, because those wind traps aren't gonna collect enough. we've got more spice than we even remotely have water to deal with. However, I did earlier today, before I started streaming, went in and I'm just looking, making sure there's no bad peoples. I did go in and bring all my empty leader johns. I think there's like 12 or 13 or 15 of them, and took them back to home base back in Haga and refilled them there and brought them out here. So we've got about 150 or so in water right there that we could bring over and get the machines popping. You see I just crossed into E, so we're going to go ahead and turn towards our base. That'll be the smaller triangle part. And we should see the zone change coming up very soon. Honestly, if somebody were to jump me right here, my only method, the only thing I would do is just continue on my path and hope that that occurred quick enough to where they wouldn't be able to go get me. Now I'm also currently, because my team won the Landsrad last week, we're on the production. It's 25% less. So normally you need 10,000 sand, spice sand, to make a batch of melange. I only need 7,500, which is good. I mean, that's one full stack short of what I need. Instead of 4 stacks, I only need 3. Where in Haga Basin, that maybe really doesn't matter that much. I mean, because you're only getting the smalls. When you're looking at how much I've got in this thing right now, that's a pretty big savings. This is, I think, the worst part of this process is once you're done. Now I'm just slowly at 120 kilometers per hour heading back to my base. This is kind of, I'm not in danger. Well, I'm zone changing right now, but I'm not in danger of getting attacked. We managed to come out with, fuel's great. Go ahead and refuel. That didn't take much. This one won't do it all the way either. So there we are. I think we spent more time in PvP than we did PvE, just on the edge, but still, that's all it takes. But yeah, like we were saying, this is the terrible part, because I've got 7 kilometers that I've got to go at 120 kilometers per hour. So we're just going to sit here and do this for minutes as I press the W key. Although I am thinking about, once I get back to base, how unprepared I am for the processing I'm about to do. If I really wanted to get crazy with it, I could put this in a storage container and fly it back to Haga with the carrier. Process it all there. I have more than enough water there to do it. 1.4 million, I think, is how much water I can hold at the home base. Should be it's almost 1.5 at home, and I think it's a little over 800,000 here, and I think it's 500,000 at the monastery base. But the Haggis stuff usually is full. Like I said, I pulled from it earlier today, so it hasn't completely recovered, but it's definitely got enough water to do all this. If I really want to, I'll just transport it back and forth with leader johns. We'll see. There is, of course, always tomorrow. I could make as many as I can right now and then just let them run overnight, and whatever resources we gain back, we gain back. we covered a lot of territory tonight. Lost a bag of plasteel plates in a cave. Oh my goodness. Takes forever. It doesn't really, but it's just I'm acting like it is. Even though this flight is incredibly boring, I still wouldn't want to, because I used to build out. I used to build out there in the rocks. Is that a medium field? That better not be. I bet it is. It is. Bastard. But I used to build out there in the rocks, and we'd go to the islands to get the. I would go to the islands to get titanium and strubidium. But I did it through the air. I would take a scout or my assault and go do it. And just being able to run around here, up these paths with the buggy, get so much more. So much more. That, no. I'd rather have that ridiculously boring and long flight time than build out in the rocks again. It's just the fact that I'm usually mining both resources. If I was just going to do spice, like one day I'm saying, that's it, screw it, I'm just doing spice, maybe I'd go back out there just for the shorter transit time. Because I don't really head to Haga that often. Come on. There you go. So I'm probably not going to do it on stream, but what we'll do is we'll transfer all of this over to storage and get an idea of how much water we have, how much we're going to need. Maybe transport some, or maybe we'll just let it sit until, you know, the machines on the roof do their job. We'll probably remove these once we fix them, just because we want to keep them in a better state for long extended trips like this. In fact, we were at 100%, and this is down to 48, and the treads are down to 56. The engine is down to 62. Now they will repair back up. But let's look at this spice container. It's 48. Let's go ahead. Now that we're back, I have better torches, so there we go. Let's put you in there. Put you in my oven. Okay, so yeah, you can see that it's just over 50%. She came back pretty well. This one's just under 50. Same thing, came back well. So what we're gonna do here is I'll pull these. Oops, sorry. I'll pull these off and switch out with the ones that were already damaged from the last time, just so I can keep these in better shape for these long extended runs. There she goes. She is completely fixed. Also, we don't need to really look at it, but let's do it anyway because it'll be fun. Look at all that. 11,250. That was our goal, and we hit our goal. It appears as though we are too short, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. How'd that happen? Whatevs. Now, the sad thing is that when we come over here and we dump all this stuff in, we are not going to even remotely get this stuff over. Oh, yeah, by the way, there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batches right there. So there's 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we just made 2,000 spice melange. That's what I can turn this into, since it's down to the 7,500 for me. Okay, see, that's as much as we can get into a medium box here. And we're at 380,000, so that may not be... Well, we can make 3 to start with. All right, so we got 6 batches being made, and we're out of water. And we've still got more spice sand to go. Ah. So let's do this. Still in the assault? It is. So we'll put you... we'll just fill this whole box up with them, right? So, that was there. Go back to our backpack. Bring over as many as we can. Nope. And then we'll deposit all water. Takes us up to 115. Sweet. Let's just dump them all back in. These are all just leader johns that I honestly have lying around. That I collected through different activities. So this is what I do with them now. I use them to transport what? I have 2 in my loadout. It's interesting. Oh, I know why. Because my one site was, or one thing was empty because I don't have any bandages because I used them all. I don't have any anywhere. That's garbage. Let's see. So there's 6, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 left over. Oh, 5 and 6. Perfect. Works out very nice. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to deposit all water. Then we'll come back here. And we will drop all of them, but I know I have a second one because I got 2 things of water now on my listing. And we're going to take this one back because 5 is the one we're supposed to use. There you go. Before I throw a production queue in, I want to come back here and make sure that I fill the container back up. This is the personal water that keeps me alive. I'd rather it be in there than in here. And now we can come back. Why am I holding that? Why am I holding that? Now we can do another 3. But I think we're out of water again. Doot, 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 doot. Alright, well, at least the Sandcrawler's empty. We currently have 9 batches of spice running. We don't have enough water, just shy. I almost want to... Yeah, I'm going to do that. We're going to come over here, and we're going to deposit that water. So that 10,000 in there. Just going to let this sucker run. So we'll get another one. And now we're finally out of spice sand. So 10 batches of spice. It's 2,000, which will add to the 3,100 we already have. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5,000. I'm sorry. So we got 5,000, and we got another. I can't do math. 2,000 coming out. So that's huge. Basically, we're going to be able to fill this row up with spice. And we're going to have more spice residue than we can ever do anything with, which is not cool. We ended up finishing with just 2 full-size spice fuel cells, but both of these are filled now. And I guess I might as well just take what little bit of water's in there. We'll call it a day. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. That was awesome. We set a goal and we made it. I've got a couple things I got to go running around doing here now. I'm going to switch the carrier, the crawler, back over to the original materials. And I'm probably going to transport these out from here on out with it if I decide to do spice melange. To be honest, guys, I don't know if I'm going to have to do that because we've got so much now. Worst case scenario, we could sell it. So make some money. Spend money on schematics. Anybody selling a las gun? Still need to get one of those. The extra amount that we got last week, the 300 of this, I still want to come out and get this, and I am needing these forged ones, like I said there. I still need forged boots, and I need forged gloves. But I haven't really focused too much on doing the caves or the testing station since we did so well last week. It's funny because I waited so long for the testing station I actually like doing, and now that it's here, I'm like, well, I don't need to do it anymore, so I'm not gonna. We're stupid that way. That's okay. We can be silly. Oh, also, I want to point out something else. I added something to the base. We do a repair station now. Just for moments like this, when this torch is about to break, and we can fix it. I used to just go back to Haga to fix things that were broken. And I thought, dude, it's a pain in the butt. Plus, we do use a lot of torches, specifically. So, I didn't want to do that anymore. So, I built one. Had a nice little spot, tucks right in there. Put a light above it so I know where it is. Rock and roll. Always make your base so that you can expand, change, maneuver, add things as you need them, take stuff away if you don't. Flexibility is the key. On that note, we're going to head off, guys. So, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate the talks, Emperor. Thank you for chatting. And I will see everybody on Monday after going to New York City tomorrow. I'll talk about what happens there. We're going to a specific, well, 2 places. So it'll be fun. I'll take some pictures, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I'm heading off. Been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, helps out the channel. And as always, I will see you out there. So take care.